Welcome to the High Performance Gym, the personal and business development podcast for health coaches and personal trainers. My name is Keir, former personal trainer and gym owner turned high performance coach and lifestyle entrepreneur. My mission is to help coaches develop their entrepreneurial qualities and the business to create a freedom-focused lifestyle. I believe we all have a uniqueness that we need to unleash to achieve this, and this is your genius. Each week I'll be bringing you an inspiring person or message to help you perform at a higher level so you can become a confident and resilient coach to build the business of your dreams. So thanks for tuning in today, and I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to today's show. Thank you again for being here. I appreciate you coming in and checking it out and listening in. I hope this show is adding some value to your life and to your business. If it is, then I'd very much appreciate if you could maybe share the show or leave me a review, or just get in touch and let me know how you're finding it so I can improve it. I want this show to give you the best qualities you possibly can to help you in your journey with your coaching business and also your life, because that's what it's all about. So without further ado, let's get into today's show. So today I'm going to go through the 5 steps to building an online coaching business, okay? Because an online coaching business is by far and large the best business model in today's world. You're getting time freedom, financial freedom. You get the ability to reach people all over the world. It truly is phenomenal. But the problem is people do it wrong. Instead of it becoming a haven of freedom, it becomes a prison. Coaches are working around the clock to help the clients and keep them happy, and they're following the hustle and grind method just to get new clients through the door. The building. I know a lot of coaches, they'll build online programs. They'll spend months and weeks and months building an online program, only for it to fail, only for it to kind of completely bomb. Now I've done this. I've done this at the very start of going online. I spent weeks building a program that nobody wanted. And that was just part of the process. But these are the kind of things that I want you to avoid. If you are going online, and I think anybody who's in the industry now, who's in the coaching industry, whether you're in the fitness or health industry, you need some form of online presence. You need to have a digital asset. You need to be shifting online, because that is the way the world's going. Offline is no longer safe. That's true. Lockdown has just demonstrated that, the pandemic, because whoever thought that the world would just shut down? Even the most successful entrepreneurs were coming out before lockdown happened, and that will never happen. That will never happen. Boom, it happened. Everybody was in a position where they had to close their businesses, or they had to, they weren't working anymore. It was just what do you do? And there's a lot of businesses thrived, but if you look at the businesses thrived, it's the businesses that went online. It's the ones that actually changed and pivoted and went online. So this is why, especially the hospitality industry was massively affected. Like myself, I had my gym. I had to close my gym literally overnight, and I had to transition online, and very, very quickly. So if you don't have this now, then I do encourage you strongly to go online, because it's the future. It's where you need to be, and if you're not online, you are going to get left behind. And I'm hoping this podcast will give you the clear steps that you need to do to start making that transition. Or maybe you're already online, but it's not kind of working for you. Either way, this is going to bring you so much value, because again, so many people doing things wrong, and it's not so much they're doing them wrong, because they're doing things that's going to take them a lot longer. If you stick it out, then eventually you will figure it out. But this might take 2, 3, 5, might take 10 years. So it's just by bypassing the unnecessary and start focusing on the necessary. This is what's going to actually help you develop your business. So if you're kind of listening to this now, nodding along a little bit, then I encourage you to continue listening, because I'm going to show you how simple it actually is, okay? But I'm not one of these people who's going to kind of lie to you and say that it's easy. There's a difference between simple and easy, because it's not easy. Nothing worth doing is easy. If it was, then we'd be all living a millionaire dream. The truth is, any plan or system will work. This is the same with your clients. If it's a nutrition plan or a training plan, whatever it is, any plan will work. But the question is it a simple plan to stick to, or is it a difficult plan that's going to send people off track? Yeah, because anything will work, but there's one thing that you have to do as well. You have to change who you are now, because who you are now is not going to be the person who gets the results that you want. Yeah, so any kind of endeavor, whether that's writing a book, starting a business, or changing an unhealthy lifestyle, requires growth. Yeah, with growth comes challenges, frustrations, and failures. Like, these things are inevitable, but these things are necessary. That is, you've got to go through struggle, you've got to go through challenges, you've got to go through hardships and frustrations. Like, these things are what develop you as a person. You have to develop as a person for your business to succeed. It doesn't matter what you're doing or anything. If you're writing a book, or you're starting a new healthy living plan, or whatever it is, you have to change as a person. There's a reason why you haven't got it yet, is because you are not that person to achieve the thing you want to achieve. So you've got to embrace the struggle. You've got to kind of honor the struggle. Yeah, this is because when you do this, it's liberating. It's absolutely liberating. So I want to make the process as simple as possible. Like, I don't want you to have to go through the struggles I did, because they were hard. A lot of things that I've went through were very, very difficult. It put me in a very dark place, and like, I don't want anyone else to go through that. You do have to go through struggle, but there's a difference between being challenged and being kind of rock bottom. And I don't want you to be at that position where you think everything is doomed for failure, because it's not. You can achieve anything that you want in life. You can do that, but you have to change who you are. Yeah, this is the art of teaching. So through this podcast now, I'm showing you how to develop an online coaching program, an online coaching business. Yes, so this is the art of teaching. So I want to show you the exact path that you need to take, the exact route to get you from A to B in the quickest time possible. Now, is this enough for you to succeed? It's enough for you to get started. Okay, there's enough for you to get started. But with any new venture or enterprise, you will need help. You know that already. You know as a coach that you can't do things alone. Every successful artist, entrepreneur, or athlete, or anybody who's succeeded at any big challenge that they've set for themselves, they've been mentored or coached through the process. Success isn't lucky, it's a strategy. This is the art of coaching, because coaching is different to teaching. Coaching is holding your hand through the potholes and the trials. Yeah, you're going to encounter mental blocks, and you're going to have a lot of internal difficulties. People are going to doubt you. Like, you're going to tell people your vision and your dream, and they're going to laugh. Some people are going to say, like, you can't do that, or it's going to be you're going to be met with a lot of struggles. You'll even attract a few haters along the way. It kind of is what it is. Yeah, that's just what it is. Anybody who is on the path to succeed something great, or to change their life in whatever way, you're going to be met with a lot of uncertainty. You're going to be met with a lot of people not understanding what you're doing, maybe hating on you, maybe doubting you. You've got to deal with a lot of these things. This is the power of coaching, because when you have a coach, then they hold your hand through that whole process. Yeah, I'm not telling this to kind of detract you from your dream, only to prepare you for what's to come. Because the main reason most people fail is because they sold a dream of freedom, riches, and eternal love. Yeah, they're unprepared for the reality. Yes, you can achieve anything you want in life, but it comes at a price. Now you have to ask yourself: are you willing to pay this price? If you want to, if you want to succeed at a marriage, you gotta put the work into that marriage, right? You've got to put that work in. You've got to take all the arguments, the emotional challenges, everything that comes with building a successful marriage. Because if these things don't happen, then you can't work on making that bond stronger. It's the same as if you want a weight loss plan. You've got to endure the pain of working out. You've got to resist the temptation of devouring yourself, or devouring your body weight in cake. You've got to go through these challenges, because at the start it will be tough and it will feel impossible. But as you grow, and as you start to learn the processes and actually embrace the challenge and embrace the struggles, things become a lot easier. So with that said, let's kind of jump into the 5 steps to building an online coaching business. Okay? So the first thing is why. So this is point number 1. This is why. Like, what do you want to achieve? A lot of people don't do this. They're just going straight into it and they're not really having an idea of why they're trying to do it. They want to just help people. And helping people is great, but just because you want to help somebody is not going to help you build a business, because there has to be more to that. There's got to be something in there for you. There's got to be something. What do you want to achieve? What is that financial target? What is the lifestyle that you want to create? Because surely all these things play a part in it. Because otherwise you might just do things for free. If you just want to help people, then do things for free. But that ain't going to pay your mortgage. That isn't going to give you the lifestyle that you want. This is actually going to make your life worse. But this is the mindset a lot of coaches go into. I just want to help people. Like, that's admirable. It is. It really is. And you've got to have that. But there has to be something else. So what is your why? Why are you doing it? What do you want to achieve? A part of your why, yes, can be helping people. But what is the other side of it? Like, the most powerful human motivators are doing something for something you love or someone that you love. Yeah? Maybe you want to change something. Maybe you see things that's getting done in the industry that you think, do you know what? I want to change this. This is powerful. Because this gives you a drive. This gives you that reason then to why you want to do that. Maybe so you want to change your family's life. Maybe you got through hardships, you haven't got the lifestyle that you want, but you really want that. Then use that. Like, maybe you want to give your kids a better education. Maybe you want to give your better half a better holiday, or let them like not work anymore and they can quit work, or whatever that is. What is it for you? What is it that's going to get you up in the morning? And what is it that's going to get you to take the action? Because there has to be something. There's got to be an internal drive there. That is just so important. This is why we start with this. And I know it doesn't sound sexy, and it doesn't sound like, and this is the thing, like, people want the sexy. Do you know what? Building a business isn't sexy. It really isn't sexy. It's far from sexy. But that's the point, because it's the simple things that, people think that it's too simple. They think, well, that's just too simple. That's not going to work. No, it's simple. It's simple. It's the consistency that matters. It's the consistency, getting up when you don't want to get up and doing the work. When you're getting rejected, or when you're kind of putting your things out there and you're getting all of these negative things back that really affect you internally, this is when it gets challenging. And that's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. Yeah. So that's the first part. Why? You've got to get that why. You've got to have that strong reason. You've got to have that burning desire to achieve the thing you want to achieve. The second thing is who. Like, who will you serve specifically? Who will you do? Who do you want to work with? Who is your ideal client? Like, do you know this? Do you not know this? Okay, a lot of people, especially coaches, go into this industry and they just want to help everybody. You can't help everybody. Yes, you have the ability to help everybody, but let's just think of it from a marketing perspective. If you're putting a message out there and you're trying to help everybody, you're actually speaking to nobody. You have to speak to the right people, and to speak to the right people, you have to understand who that person is. You have to understand everything about that person. You have to understand their language. Without understanding these things, you will be talking to nobody. And if you're talking to nobody, then you ain't going to get any clients. So you've got to be really laser focused on who it is you want to serve. So I do have an actual little process here, so you might want to grab a pen. And I'm going to give you a quick process that you can go through. This is what I cover on my course, on my program. On my program, I cover this exact process of how you can identify your ideal client. So let's just give you part of that process now. It's the 5 P's, okay? So the first P is problem and pain. What problem and what pain does that person have? What is the problem and what pain are they in? What problem do you solve? That is the first P. The second one is passion. What are you passionate about? Like, what things are you passionate about in life that you would like to teach somebody else? What is that? It could be anything. There's a broad range. Again, if somebody's going into nutrition, for example, then what part of the nutrition, what do you want to help people with? Do you want to help people with weight loss? Do you want to help people with performance? Do you want to help people to live a life free of stomach pains from intolerances and these types of things? There's loads of areas that you can go into. What area are you specifically passionate about? Just calling yourself a nutritionist or a trainer isn't enough, because anybody can be a nutritionist. But if you're a nutritionist who specializes in, over 50s women with more hormonal, with premenopausal women, or postmenopausal women, and you help them with nutrition, guess how specific that is. Like, that is really targeted, right? Then your messaging, everything you're talking about goes to that specific person. You win because you're talking to that person. Anybody who doesn't fall in that category, you repel to a certain respect. Okay? Now, this is what's good about that. Yeah, and the third P is profession. Like, have you been in, like, look at your history. Have you been in a profession that you would like to maybe help with? Like, so for example, I was a personal trainer for like 13 years. Like, I love the industry. I love the health industry. That's why I'm here now. I'm still here now. I want to help more coaches succeed because I'm passionate about the industry. I'm passionate about helping people like you succeed. I'm passionate about, you helping other people. If I can help you and you can help somebody else, and that's like a chain reaction, and that is amazing. So, what is your passion? So you could look at anything. You might have been in a completely different industry, for example. You might have been a lawyer. I don't know, in your past experience. Now you're going into coaching and you want to do nutrition. So maybe you work with lawyers because you understand lawyers, you understand the stresses. Yeah, but the passion is that, your passion now is different, but you had a passion there that was a profession. I'm kind of going off a little bit there. You had a profession that you were in that you understand. Like, I understand the health industry. I understand that because I've been in it for 13 years. So I want to help people in that industry. And then there's the person. Like, what kind of person do you want to work with? Again, you don't have to have everything in these P's, by the way. This is just to give you some ideas of how you can then look at that and think, all right, I was in this profession, or I've got this passion, or I want to help solve this problem. And then there's the fourth one is the person. Okay, so the person, like, who do you want to help? What kind of person do you want to help? Yeah. Do you want to help maybe, like, I don't know, it could be anything. It could be maybe you want to help people who are, maybe you want to help people who are really shy be confident. Yeah. So then it's people who have a certain type of way, certain people who have, think about more psychographics here as opposed to demographics. So psychographics, you're looking at kind of the things that they're dealing with. So it kind of links with the problem. Yeah. But what kind of person is that? Is it like an introverted person? Is it somebody who maybe struggles to come out of the house, or someone who struggles to get on the stage and speak, whatever that is? What kind of person is that? Yeah, so that is your fourth P. Your fifth P is just pick. Like, seriously, just pick something, write these things down, look at it, and then just pick it. Just pick it. But if you write something down on each of these things, so say you've got your 5 P's, so your first one is the problem and pain, the second one is the passion, third one is profession, fourth one is the person, and then, write something down from each. You'll see a little bit of a pattern there, and then just pick it. Just pick something that you are kind of attracted to. You can change this at any point. People think they struggle with selecting a niche because they think, well, once I do that, I'm stuck for life. Like, you're not. You're not at all. You might do this for 6 months and think, this isn't the right thing to do. You might do for 5 years. You might do for 10 years and then decide to change. You can change your niche. You can change this at any time. It's your business. It's what you're doing. All you're doing is you're helping somebody to solve a problem. Okay? All you're doing at the minute, you're just deciding what kind of person you want to help. You might do that and think, I've done this for a little bit, I'm going to change. Like, through my time as a personal trainer, I've had a lot of different niches. I started working with kids. I loved working with kids, and then that kind of transitioned into young athletes, which then I started working with more athletes who were more in a competitive environment. So amateur athletes, like fighters and footballers and these types of things. And then through that, I started training women. So I started training a couple of female Thai fighters, and I really liked this. I like that element of actually working with women. And I started working with women. So I started working on fat loss and lifestyle with women because it was something that I became passionate about. I loved helping women become confident. It's just something, when I very first started personal training, I never thought I would do that. I never even thought about it. It just wasn't something that came into my mind. But because it's something I started doing and I knew I could help, then it became something that I was passionate about. So you don't have to be, whatever you select now doesn't have to be what you're doing in 5 to 10 years' time. This doesn't define who you are. This is just something that you do. Yeah? Ultimately, you're a coach. Like, you are a coach. That is your identity. Your identity is a coach. All you're doing is solving somebody's problem. Which brings us to the next point. What problem do you solve? That's so important. A lot of people don't understand the problem that they solve because they're trying to help everybody. You can't solve all the problems of the world. You cannot. It'd be great if you could. You cannot. The world is too big. People need to have people who understand them. People need to have people who understand their specific problem. Because when you understand that their specific problem, you can solve that problem. This is what entrepreneurs do. Entrepreneurs, because That is what you are. Yes, you're a coach, but you're an entrepreneur because you solve problems, okay? You're the one that's taking all the risk. You're the one that's starting this business to make other people's lives better. Therefore, you are an entrepreneur. Once you kind of accept that, it's liberating. You're like, wow, I am an entrepreneur. Then you can think of it in a completely different way, yeah? So entrepreneurs solve problems. What problem do you solve specifically? Then it comes to how. Okay, now we've got 3 points to this. So how? First one is, how will you reach these people? All right, so you know why you're doing it. You know who you want to serve, who your ideal client is. You know what problem you solve specifically. Now, how do you reach these people? The first point is to create a client attraction system. Okay, you've got to have a system within your business that attracts clients. Yeah, what a lot of people do is they're spending so much time on social media, they're bashing out loads of content, but they're not getting anything back. Okay, I'm not saying that you shouldn't create content. I think content is great to do because, to me, by creating content, it develops your message. Okay, it gives you certainty, it gives you more confidence in the thing that you're actually doing. You know, and I think you should create content, but at the same time, you've got to have a system that gets clients into your business without you having to actually do anything, okay? This is why, part of my program is to help people create that client attraction system. Now, what I do with this is I create a simple Facebook ad, okay, that delivers that message and a free gift to my specific audience, yeah? That's what's great about paid advertising these days. Paid advertising, you can deliver a message directly to the people you want to deliver it to, literally hand delivers, and they get it, okay? And the other good thing about it, if nobody's actually picking up on it, it means your messaging's wrong. It means that you need to go back and you need to solve that messaging, yeah? Because if nobody's actually downloading that free gift that you got, then it means the message isn't right. And that's okay. You can go and change it. And that's what's great about it. Like years ago, if you wanted to advertise, you'd have to put like a 10 grand advert in the paper and hope that somebody would see it. These days, you can put a couple of quid onto a Facebook ad and send it out to the right people. You can change it. You don't have to spend, hundreds of pounds on Facebook ads. Yes, big businesses do. Big businesses spend thousands and thousands of pounds on Facebook ads every single day. But we're not talking about big businesses. What we're talking about here is you testing your message. You reaching people, on a whole, and getting them into your business, which brings us to the second point. How will you communicate? This bit's essential, and honestly, this bit is missed by so many people and so many people in businesses. How will you communicate? An email list and a Facebook group. Yeah, an email list and a Facebook group. That is I see these things as your shop. All right? You don't need the Facebook group. You could just go with an email list. Either or, but personally, I prefer to have them both. I think having an email list, because guess what? You own the data. I'm not going to go through why you should have an email list. I'm going to keep that for another blog because an email list is so powerful. It really is. But you need to be able to communicate with these people. You've got to build these relationships. You can't just expect people to knock on your door and buy something. You've got to build relationships. You've got to continuously talk to people and, help them and make them aware of the problems that they have and how you can solve it. And this takes time. It doesn't take one ad. It doesn't take one Facebook post. It doesn't take one Instagram story. It takes a long time to do. You've got to develop this. But having an email list and a Facebook group, you can do this. You can cultivate those relationships. The second one is, how will you solve the problem? Signature program. Yeah, this is your signature program. This is where so many people, again, go wrong, because what they try to do is they try to go online. And then when they go online, they try to create a program without actually understanding what people want. Yeah, what you think people want and what they do want is generally completely different. That is the truth. This is why I teach my clients to build a program with the clients. Don't build a program before you get the clients, because then you're trying to sell something that they probably don't want. Okay? Have an idea of the problem you want to solve, have an idea of the program you want to develop, and then bring your clients in and build a program with your clients. This is amazing. This is honestly mind-blowing, because you create exactly what people want. You're not trying to build something and hope they buy it. You're building it for what they want. That is what you're doing. You're giving people what they want. That is the art of business. Giving people what they want. There's no point trying to force things into people's face that they don't want, because you're going to create resistance. They're not going to buy from you. They're not going to buy just because you think it's good. It doesn't mean that they think it's good. Yeah, if they go through your program, it might be the most amazing program in the world. But if that doesn't relate to the clients that you're trying to help, it's not going to. Like, don't create a mindset course thinking that people are going to buy it because it helps them with the mindset. Like, it might do, but it might not be specific to them. It might not be what they want. You've got to work with those clients, so you will have blind spots as well. So you know how to fix the problem, but you will have blind spots. What your clients actually help you do is uncover those blind spots, and then you can make your program even better. Yeah, in your signature program, this is like a group coaching, right? Because this brings us to the second part now, the final part, and this is your offer. This is the offer that you have. Okay, this is your core offer, which is your signature program. You can start off one-to-one, yeah, build your confidence, and then go to group coaching. But group coaching is the way forward, because you have unlimited scalability here. Yeah, you have unlimited scalability. You've got your online program. You've built this online program with your clients. Okay, you have that. People buy into that program. Then you coach people through that program. And in group coaching, you don't need to have the one-to-one. You can get enough and get results from group coaching. If somebody wants to pay you high money and they want to give you more money and a high ticket, then you would go to one-to-one. Then you can do that, because then they're investing in your time on a one-to-one basis. Yeah. But group coaching is such an effective way to create more revenue, which is, a good thing, because it gives you the lifestyle that you want, and it also gives you the time, freedom to work on your business and to live your life. If you've got like 50 one-to-ones, which is kind of a lot, maybe if you got, I don't know, even if you had 20 one-to-one clients, that's a lot of your time. Like, having 20 one-to-one clients it's not just 20 hours. You might, a lot of people think, well, oh yeah, if I had 20 clients, that's 20 hours. Like, no. Like, guess what? Your clients are going to have problems. If you work with one-to-ones all of the time, you're going to spend more time. You're going to spend more time outside of those coaching hours, because you're working with too many people on an individual basis. If people are in a group, you're solving problems within a group. People come over with a problem, which people always have. It doesn't matter what the path is, they're always going to have another problem. There's always going to be a barrier. That is the beauty of coaching. But if you're helping one person, you actually help 10 people. Because by helping one person in a group, you're answering other people's questions. You're solving somebody else's problem. That is the beauty of group coaching. Like, group coaching think, well, I'm not going to get that specificity. You don't necessarily need that specificity. Yeah? If you want that specificity, or someone wants that specificity with you, then they have to pay the premium. That is what that is. But a lot of people are undercharging, massively undercharging, charging by the hour. This doesn't solve any problems. You've got to have a clear offer, a program it takes a client from A to B. It takes them from pain and into pleasure. Yeah, it takes them from a problem to not having a problem. It has to be clear on what you're doing. I help such and such, this person, solve this problem by my program. Yeah, this is what my program does. This is my method. This is how I do it. This is how you get the results. So people are looking at it, they're like, oh yes, great. It's a program. It costs whatever it costs. And that is what it is. It's not by the hour. You're not charging by the hour. Charging by the hour is probably the worst business model behind pay-as-you-go that you could ever have. Pay-as-you-go is probably the worst business model in the world. Charging by the hour is the second, because it's terrible. You want people to invest into your program, so they know that the result that they're going to get. You know that if they go from A to B in your 8-week, 12-week program, that they're going to get a result. And that is it. That is kind of what they want, because that keeps things simple. So how simple was that process? That process was really simple, right? So let's just quickly take you through it again. The first step was why, yeah? The second one was who. Who do you work with? The third one was what. What problem do you solve? The fourth one was how. How are you going to reach these people? How are you going to communicate with them? And how are you going to solve the problem? And the final one was offer. That was your 5 things. That was your 5 things to create an online program. It's simple, right? Is it too simple? Probably. Because simple works. Like, simple really does work. And that is all you need to do. You don't need to be putting loads of crazy challenges out there. You don't need to be kind of, working for free. Yes, you might have to do some things, but there's a process. There's a process. It's just, but a lot of people are going into it with the wrong kind of mindset. You've got to go in with this entrepreneurial mindset. You've got to go into, okay, I'm building a system here. I'm building a system that I could ultimately step out of, because that's what a good business does. A good business runs without that person being there. Yeah, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be there, because maybe you want to be there. Maybe you want to be the front end of the business, yeah? Maybe you don't want to bring a team in and you just want to be by yourself, and that's absolutely cool. But you've got to have these processes in place where your business can run without you being there. So if you have like a client attraction system and automation, you're getting clients without having to do it, yeah? If something drastically happens to you, which, let's cross your fingers, nothing does, your business still operates without you being there. You still have that online program. You still have that asset that you can sell to people, that you can bring people in, and you can still serve. People can still go through your program without you being there and still get amazing results. Yeah, this is the beauty of having a signature online program. You can have a huge coaching element to it, or you could just sell the program on its own. It totally depends on what you want to do. But this is the best way to create financial freedom and time freedom, and to make a bigger impact in people's lives. Because as coaches, that's what we want to do. Yeah, going back to that first part of the why, like, part of your why does have to be helping people. You've got to have a genuine care to help other people. And this is the best way to do that. Yeah. So that was the 5-step process. I hope that was insightful. I hope I give you some food for thought. And, if this is something that you want to take to the next level, then you can, by all means, have a look in the links in the show notes. You can join my free group. Come and join my free group. I do some free training there. And there's a couple of downloads there's my free download you can get to help you get clients into your business right now. Or you can email me with any questions that you've got. Fire your questions at us. I can use these questions. I can answer you back personally, and I can use these questions as well to help answer other people's questions on my podcast or on the content that I deliver. So thank you for being here today. I really do appreciate your time. And let's go and build an awesome business. Let's build an awesome coaching business, give you the life you want, and help serve the clients that you want to serve. So thank you. Have a great week. Thank you for listening to the show today. I appreciate your time and I appreciate you being here. If you would like some free resources to help you with your business, then click in the show notes. There is some free training, and there's also a link to my free group. If you could also share this podcast with anybody that you think would benefit from it, because this helps us actually develop the podcast and spread our message to a wider audience. So that would be very, very grateful if you could do that, and leave us a comment. Let me know how you are actually finding the show and how we can best serve you. So thank you for being here today. Click on the link in the show notes, and I hope to see you in my free group.